You do the Mount Moon in the middle section to avoid encounters until you get a Paris, which you need for cut and dig. And then you do it one more time before you fight Lieutenant Surge to get the trash cans on the first try, basically. Now, I do easier versions of these manipulations, so people much better at the game than me, they've all found faster manips for these things. So there's a much more complicated manipulation for getting the same perfect Nidoran that takes less time, but you have to do like 9 A presses while you're walking like in up, down, left, right, all sorts of crazy ass directions, and you have to press A during certain spots, and it's much more difficult. So I don't bother doing that because my PB is now 12 or 13 minutes or maybe even 14 minutes slower than the world record is. So like saving 10 or 15 seconds on that manipulation is not worth it for me personally, because I would rather just do the more consistent, easier one and just get runs, because I can beat my PB by like 3 minutes very easily, except for I keep fucking up because I'm rusty. So I do a much easier, but still just as good manipulation for Nidoran. Like, the Nidoran is equally as good, it's just slower to get it. And then I do an easier manipulation for Mount Moon, because I just basically do the same strategies we did before the manipulations existed, but now that the manips exist and you can manipulate a lot of encounters and stuff like that, there are more advanced strats that involve using the manips for long periods of time. And if you do everything frame perfectly, you can manipulate exactly, if you save and do a thing and then save and do that thing again in that same spot, it'll do the same thing every time. But as soon as you don't do something frame perfectly, that's when it changes, because you're not on the same RNG seed anymore. So that was probably a more complicated explanation that was needed, but that's what I know about it. I use it because that's the new strat. I'm not great at doing it. I mess up a lot. Especially the like harder parts of it, like the frame perfect ball throw. I probably get the frame perfect ball throw like 30% of the time, whereas really good players probably get it 80 to 90% of the time. So, but that part of it's not as important because you can just buy extra Pokeballs. You'll have enough money to do all the things still. I didn't even catch my special there. But I'll show you, if you saw, like, when I got that level 4 Nidoran, if you watch the next time I get to the mart and I save, I'm going to walk that same path, and I'm going to get the same exact Nidoran and the exact same tile, and it'll actually have the same stats. I'm not going to bother looking at the stats because I already know that it gives me the same Nidoran every time, but if you did it yourself and followed the exact same path, and the cool thing is you can, like, we have manips that we've found for all these things, and by we I mean the Pokemon speedrunner community. I didn't actually find anything. But you can manip a lot of things. Like, you could try a manip on your own, a very simple one, where you just walk into the grass and just go back and forth without pressing A any specific amount of times. And as soon as you hit an encounter, if you like looked at the stats of that after you caught it, and then you shut the game off and did it again, it would give you the same Pokemon if you did it in the right spot. Or you could avoid getting encounters if you do it in the right spot. So it's pretty cool. They've set up bots and stuff on emulators to find all of these, so we can use them in runs. And the top runners are using them a lot more and a lot differently than I do, but this is still faster than what I used to do, so that's what I'm using it for. Route 1 has been good so far on this run. So even though I beat rival 4.5 seconds slower. I'm well ahead because I haven't gotten any encounters so far, I don't think. I do need one encounter to knock out. So I will take even a level 3 Pidgey at this point. Can't knock out a level 4, but 3 I can do. Alright, I'm gonna... I never know if this is the best play or not, but this is the play I tend to make in this spot. Walk back and forth until I get an encounter. Oh, and you have to hard reset the console to get it to work. That's the tile you press A on, by the way. Is the one right there. Bam. So I got the Nidoran on the exact same spot. It's a level 4. It's gonna have the exact same stats as the last one that I didn't catch. I didn't even try doing the ball throw because I fucked up. If I'd done that correctly, I could have caught it first time. But I buy extra balls because I suck at it. Please go in. So annoying, man. I should just get really good at the ball throw because it's just so much better. Alright. We're faster. Barely. So that saved 6 seconds, and I threw 5 balls, whereas my PB managed to only get it in 1. So that 5 balls was like, you know, however long that wastes. So I got the encounter probably like 55 seconds before my PB did, and a lot of that was encounters, but it just makes it more consistent because now that I have a very good Nidoran, this whole early, like, all the way through, like, Lieutenant Surge just becomes astronomically easier and faster and more consistent. Misty, in particular, is way easier because I just have this god Nidoran, so I don't even have to heal the full to fight Misty. If I don't want to, I can hover around, like, 55 HP and be fine going into Misty. So, it's really consistent. I need to pay attention to Squirrel's special here. Let's see if this asshole Weedle... Just don't poison me on turn 1. Alright, well, I suppose you listen to me, but also fuck you. I can't complain, though, because, like, the last day and a half I've run... Wow. Well, never mind. I lied. I can complain. I just missed tackle after getting poisoned. God, can you not just keep poison stinging me, please? I just have to heal. If I can just not get damaged a million more times, I'll be fine. Like, if I get one more string shot, I'll be so happy. I was really hoping I didn't have to... If I have good... Oh my god! Can I not get 2 fucking... It is 95% accuracy. No, you don't want to use Antidote. If you use Antidote and he poisons you again, the run is over. You save Antidote for after the fight. You have to. Alright. So there is a potion I can grab, but I'm not going to grab it because it takes long and I'm behind. Yeah. So you would think you would want to use Antidote there, because it is slow while you're in the fight to keep getting hit by the poison. Like, the fact that it says, you know, oh, you took damage by poison, it wastes time. The problem is, A, you have to take a turn off to use the Antidote. B, if you use it and he poison stings you and poisons you again, you can't make it through the rest of this, you'll die. And you can't, so you would just reset at that point. We do pick it up, because it does, you know... It is useful to pick up, but you can't use it during the fight. Yeah, so this is why we needed to win the fight, because now I have, Bubble. We didn't take any damage on Geodude, so I think we're fine that we didn't get the extra potion. Good fight. We'll be behind like, what, 13 or 14 seconds? Which is not a ton. Less. Only like 9. Alright. So, I really would like to be ahead, because my PB does not have a great time up until this point, to be honest. I really should be ahead, but it's so free for me to get ahead here. Like, you're gonna see... coming up shortly. So like this entire route is probably like the worst segment of my entire PB. Like from here until Mount Moon is so slow on PB. Yeah, I did lose 10 seconds exactly. Okay, yeah, I was looking at the differential, but you're right, I did. Didn't even have a extra fraction in there. Impressive. Didn't even get that, man. I thought for sure I was gonna get that range. So I want to get hit with at least one string shot here. The fact that I didn't means I can't tackle. God, I really wanted to risk it, but I don't think it was worth it. If I didn't get string shot there, I wouldn't have knocked it out with tackle. And it's pretty consistent for me to knock out the Caterpie with tackle. Now the reason it's important is I have one fewer horn attack than I want on this route. So I have to save at least one horn attack somewhere. And this is usually the fight to do it in. Because you're not at risk of dying, and you're not at risk of getting hardened locked by a Metapod or a Kakuna. This fight's... I really just want to avoid getting wrapped, basically. Alright, Rattata is dead. It's hard to die, but I just don't want to get wrapped. Wrap is just so slow. Alright, we're good. Really good fight. That's about as well as that fight can go. Neck and neck with PB right now. And this is the fight where I'm going to pull ahead. If I don't get a bunch of string shots, I should be fine. String shot makes us slower than the cocoons. So if we're slower, they get to harden before we get to hit them, and that makes it take like an extra 2 turns. At least, sometimes, so... And PB gets a bunch of... It doesn't knock out the Kakuna here in 3 turns. It knocks it out in, I think, 4. Because I was slower than it. And I had worse stats than this Niddo, because my PB is so old, it's before the manipulation existed. So I just don't want to get string shot into string shot. We're fine. Tackle's fine. Yeah, so PB just knocked out Kakuna right there. We're already 2 Pokemon ahead of it, or 1.5. Same as before, I don't want to get double string shot here. String shot fail is the fastest possible option. That was a great crit. That's going to save an entire... It might save 2 turns. Almost. Save 1 turn. It was very close to saving 2. If I crit the second hit instead of the first hit, I would have actually probably 2-hit it, which is pretty nuts. Because there was no harden up on the first hit, so the crit mattered less. So it's nice that I get a Spearow here, although I don't want to... I have to Poison Sting it, but I don't want it to get poisoned. God damn it. This is going to waste time, unfortunately. I have 2 balls left, but luckily since I have a Spearow, if for some reason I can't catch the Paris, I have a backup strat for using trading Spearow for Farfetch'd. Farfetch'd learns Fly and Cut, and you can teach Dig to Squirtle if necessary. So if I don't get Paris, it's not the end of the world. So you see how much time I saved, right? Like... Saved 1:17 on that route. And that was with Spearow getting poisoned. If Spearow didn't get poisoned, I would have been way farther ahead. I would like another 3 seconds at least saved. Probably like 5 or 6. You lose probably like a second to the text saying that it got poisoned and taking poison damage, and then you lose a tiny fractional amount of time walking while poisoned, and then you lose time for Spearow saying that it fainted. Although these fucking encounters are dumpstering me. Do not want this many encounters before the manipulation. So we're doing another manip in Mount Moon. If I do it correctly, I won't get any encounters for a very long stretch of time. And I will run into a level 10 or 12 Paris, depending on what path I take. But I can't start the manip until after the second trainer I fight here. Now there is a manip that you can do earlier, but it skips getting a bunch of XP. And I'm not very good at that route yet, so I haven't learned it. I should have poisoned this thing there to save a little bit of tiny bit of time. If I can make it to the trainer with no more encounters, I'm losing a lot of time early here, unfortunately. Just want to make it right here without getting any more encounters. Alright, so that after this fight I'll do the manip. I should only have a few steps to accidentally get an encounter early. I'm also gonna save like I think 5 seconds on this fight over PB because I almost always 2-shot now against this Oddish. I got the crit also this time. PB's attack was a lot lower. So here's the manip coming up. I'll explain it after I do it. So I messed it up. I might get lucky and get a Nita there, or Paris there, so I messed it up. So I got the majority of it, but I didn't get the very end, which gets me the Paris that I need. So I'm gonna get, like, at least 2 encounters here. I got a Paris, so I got lucky. So if I did that encounter a couple more steps up, wow, that's very unfortunate. I was really hoping. Right where I'm standing now, I would get a Paris if I did that correctly. Fortunately, God, that was so unlucky that I knocked that out. I hate the level 10 Parises because if you crit them, you always KO them. Wow, another encounter. Didn't even have the decency to be a Paris. Actually, I should have maybe knocked that out. That level 9 out. If I manage to run into another one, I might knock it out. Because I got 100 XP from the Paris. Like, if I get a level 10 Zubat, I'm gonna knock it out. Or no, even... pretty much anything I can knock out. But at least you got to see how I didn't get encounters for that whole stretch. The tricky part is you have to make one extra step and press A at the same time, and then backtrack immediately. And if you either press the A too late or too early, or you don't walk perfectly there, then you then the minute gets messed up after that. But I did the longer part of it. It's really easy. You just walk perfectly, which is not hard. That was a good crit. Saved a turn. So I should have knocked out that Pokemon that I ran into after I knocked out the Paris, because normally with this strat you're not gonna knock out extra Pokemon, but because I already knocked something out by accident, it would actually benefit me to knock something out if I ran into it, which is unfortunate because probably not going to run into something now when I would actually want it. So, I made a mild mistake, but... So even after I messed that up, I still saved 30 seconds, 34 seconds. The problem is I'm going to lose 45 seconds because I don't have a Paris. Unless I get really lucky and hit an Oddish in like the few patches of grass that I'm going to intentionally walk through, it's going to end up being slower. But if I made the manip correctly, or I didn't knock out that Paris that I ran into, we'd be saving time here. My only regret is I didn't knock out that Zubat that I ran into. I should have. Once I made the unfortunate accident of knocking out Paris, I should have knocked out something else. Because it would have given me a little extra XP, which helps in this middle part here. On Nugget Bridge, mostly. But it'll be too late by the time that I could knock anything out. So bad. So I have to hit at least once here before I switch, so I don't risk getting Sand Attack again. So that wasted 2 turns. It did knock me out on the first turn that I switched. But I had to switch because I can't just keep trying to fight through Sand Attack. we didn't get sand attack, we're good. Quick attack is annoying now. Got one more sand attack to dodge on this route. Need to avoid Wrap, or I just need to kill the Ekans more appropriately. I'm a little under 50% to kill this thing. I didn't get Wrapped, so I didn't kill it, but I didn't get Wrapped. Zubat's 100% to die, and now I have to fight one more Pidgey. With a chance to sand attack. Quick attack is actually a good there because it means I'm not getting... Well, that one's bad. This is actually a little bit... What's my health at? It's a little low. I might have to potion before the next fight if I take damage here. I shouldn't need to, but I may end up doing it anyway. The biggest reason I'm going to potion is because I'm likely to need to potion eventually, and since I'm about to go into a fight where I could die, makes sense to do it there. Because if he karate chops me and crits me, I would die. You don't normally need to heal on Nugget Bridge, but the planet's aligned. Yeah, I would have died. So if I had knocked out an extra encounter, that would have saved a lot of time. Because I would have leveled up, if I just knocked out anything in Mount Moon in addition to that Paris, I would have leveled up a fight earlier, which would have let me do this earlier. Which would have given me more HP, and I wouldn't have even risked anything on that fight because Thrash knocks that Mankey out in one shot. So I got punished pretty badly by not getting the extra XP after I accidentally knocked out Paris. Gonna be losing probably 20-ish seconds here. Defense Scroll is the worst thing. Need a crit here. I might be able to if I get the 4 turn now. So now I have to switch out to Squirtle. Luckily, the XP won't matter too much because I gained a little bit of extra. But it does waste some turns. so I gotta get the other. Shit, walked an extra step. I buy super potions in a minute. The answer, I mean, the easiest answer is I couldn't have bought them until now. But you can't buy, I don't think you can buy repels in this town. And you don't really need your super potions this early. Like, you need the potions anyways, because you might take a bunch of damage early on. And you don't want to stop at every mart to, you know, get slightly updated items. We only take 3 shopping trips in the entire, or I guess maybe 4. You do 1 to get your Pokeballs, 1 to buy potions, 1 to get super potions and repel, and then 1 big shopping trip to get all your X items and extra potion. But generally the answer for why you don't do something is it's slower than doing it. But you do get some super potions. But the way that you use your potions and your super potions, like, having potions in particular is important in some of the late parts of the game, because you can use the fact that the potion only gives you 20 HP to manipulate red bar in some situations where you know you'll take a certain amount of damage. So, like, for example, on Sylph Rival, you take between, I think, like 70 and 95 damage. So you want to try to get into like 75 and 95, and you want to try to get into red bar so you can use a potion to get red bar more easily. Like, it wasn't that big a deal there to use 2 potions rather than the super potion. In fact, the super potion would have healed me too much. I wouldn't have wanted to have been healed as much as that. I probably should have only used 1 potion there, in fact. It's a little riskier because there were some crits I would have died to if I only used 1 potion in the Misty fight. But it would, again, let me get red bar more easily coming up, which I want to have red bar by the time I get to Rock Tunnel. I want to have that whole red bar all the way through Lavender Tower from here. So this is a part where if I happen to run into an Oddish here, I'm going to catch it. If not, I have to waste, I think, 45 seconds catching, or not catching, but trading for Farfetch'd. So in those, like, 6 patches of grass, or 7 patches of grass, if I hit an Oddish, it would have been good, but I'm not going to try to get it, because it's faster on average to trade your Spearow for a Farfetch'd coming up. 50 HP is kind of high for this upcoming section. This section I'm bound to lose a little bit of time on. Or not even a little bit, I'm definitely going to lose a lot of time because PB had a Paris here, so it didn't have to trade for ducks. And then on top of that, this is my gold split I'm racing against right now. So I'm gonna have to play extra well from here on out. It'll be really important for me to I know, right? He's only been walking for 45 minutes. But he has walked a long distance. He's gonna get a bike soon, though, so he's good. Oh, I was supposed to teach Bubble Beam. That's fine, I'll just Horn Attack if needed. I think I have extra Horn Attack, so it's not that big a deal. Sand Attack, man. This is gonna be so slow. This squirrel doesn't die in one hit. My HP's too high here. It's really annoying. It's gonna be almost impossible for me to get red bar now. Gotta remember to get ducks after I shop. If I get a turn 1 Sonic Boom on Surge, I think I'll go for red bar on Surge. If I don't get a turn 1 Sonic Boom, I'm not just gonna keep leering until I get 2 of them. But if I get the first one on turn 1, it's pretty worth it to go for it there. So this is where I buy some super potions. But those super potions are actually for later. They're actually for like the Elite Four, basically. This trade takes so long. Last manipulation of the run. That is true. Alright, PB is about 7 seconds behind right now, so I lost about a ton of time realistically. But I knew I was going to lose quite a bit of it already. Alright, I want to get Sonic Boom here, but if I don't, I'm just gonna... Yep, so I'm just gonna not go for red bar. No, I'm not sure. I know trading for ducks takes 45 seconds. I'm not sure where the rest of that time went. I'm sure somebody has one. And now I'm gonna dig out of this man's fan club using my dead turtle. This is the only fight in the game where you're required to hit 4 thrashes in a row. 50-50 chance to hit 3, 50-50 chance to hit 4. Luckily, I have a high enough HP where I'm just gonna fucking fight through confusion if I get confused after 3. Might get into red bar accidentally that way, also. But when you're on red bar here, it's really... this fight can kill you. But I got the 4 turn. So normally through this whole part you're in red bar, which is much faster. You would just get confused. The only way it can miss though is if you Generation 1 miss, which is a 1 in 256 chance for you to miss, but it has 100% accuracy normally. So I think you would get confused on the 4th turn. I always get paranoid I'm gonna hit that guy. Exactly. Alright, so this Oddish coming up soon, not this upcoming fight, but the fight after is very annoying. God damn it. Forget how fucking fast you move. So this fight's free, but the next fight you can get put to sleep, you can get paralyzed. Those two things are both awful. This Oddish is 46% to die. You really want it to die. Alright, Poison Powder's fine, luckily, so didn't kill it, but didn't get punished. It was 2 and 4 after I missed the kill that I would get punished for it, but I got lucky. Currently only a few seconds ahead of PB, but I'm going to be able to try to get a good second half of this split. First time I've gotten that quick attack in a while. So you're gonna see at the end of this, I'm gonna have $156. So every bit of money and every fight that I've won, I've needed up until this point for this trip. Thanks, man. Appreciate you keeping me company, man. It's much more fun to talk about the run as I'm doing it than sit here in silence by myself, so I appreciate it. Whoops. It was. It wasn't that big of a time loss, luckily. Oh, nice. I'm walking one extra step in Lavender Tower, and I don't know where. But I'm consistently walking one extra step. Alright. Oh, I was supposed to repel. Right, repel after this fight. Alright, you're about to witness someone be very bad at picking up a hidden item. Ready? It's somewhere here, man. I'm just glad I never have to try to get this PP up ever in my life. I did that slightly suboptimally, but I got there. God damn it. Right, that wasted like 4.5 seconds to 5 seconds probably. Because dumb. So, coming up here may be an example of why using a potion or a super potion in this section of the game can matter, and I'll try to see if it'll come up. I'm trying to get into Red Bar against this Gyarados. It's a little tricky with my current HP, but I can potentially get there using a potion or a super potion, depending on how much damage Pidgeotto does. X speed. So now I'm going to use a super potion right here. Unless I get crit here, I'll be put in a red bar. That was a max roll, by the way. Unfortunately, I have to potion that off. Because I got too low in the red bar. But using a potion is much... not, actually. I can actually use... I know, it's some bullshit, ain't it? So, if I had literally 1 more HP, I could use a rare candy here to get to... or 2 more HP, but I have the potion instead. Unfortunately. So this is an example of when I would still use a regular potion even in the late game. I was supposed to, maybe I didn't end up needing it. I would have been at 14 HP, that's not enough. Well, the actual answer is I'm gonna die to this Nidorino, potentially. If I had to use it because I actually got too deep into Red Bar, because this Nidorino can do up to, I think, 16 damage on a non-crit attack. So I have to set up on it. It ended up not mattering, because he ended up guard specking, so I could have risked it, but the chance of doing it is too high. I would have died. I was at 11 HP. So he could have hit a horn. If he horn attacked me, I would have died. And if Fury attack hit 3 or more times, I also would have died. So the thing is that Hydro Pump could have done like 14 fewer damage than it did, and then I would have been fine. Instead of using a super, you use this. You want to not. I have extra supers, right? It's a risk reward thing because you can potentially get into Red Bar by. I was supposed to split. I could have gotten into Red Bar by the Nidorino. So, using the potion is probably marginally better. If you're going for Red Bar in the first place, it's worth going for. Using a super there, using a super means that I guarantee live non-critical confusion by this Hypno coming up. So, it's basically a decision on if I want to try to get Red Bar, or if I want to forego getting Red Bar at all. But when you go for the Red Bar in the first place and you're forced to heal, it doesn't really make any sense strategically to then puss out and go for the save strat after, you missed the Red Bar, because why'd you even go for it in the first place? Why not just Thunderbolt the Gyarados and just stay at a high HP? So you might as well try to get back into Red Bar. As it is, now I'm getting the worst of both worlds, because I'm not high enough HP to live through confusion, but I might actually be able to rare candy twice here. Nah. I could rare candy before this fight. I could potion before this fight. I need to elixir anyway. I'm gonna potion. My gut tells me to potion. So, it's all risk-reward there. I probably shouldn't have potioned because of what I was just talking about. Like, if I went for the red bar in the first place, I should just not potion here. But because I don't have red bar, I was kind of in between a rock and a hard place. Let's see if I get rewarded. Watch me just get critical confusion and lose. Turns out all the extra healing was for nothing, but... It is, but I'm at a point right now where, like, my PB is so slow, it's so easy for me to beat it, and I keep messing up. I've not gotten really boned by the game too much in the late game. I usually will make a mistake and lose because of it, and it's been pretty hilarious recently, so I'm not getting super frustrated at the game, I'm more getting frustrated at my own inability to, like, not do stupid shit. Like, accidentally thrash a Ghastly, for example. I could have played up really hard there, accidentally dying, but I didn't do it by accident, can't lie to you. Yeah, my PB's so beatable that it's hard to get frustrated because I can stay so far ahead of it. Like, this is a shit run and I'm, like, still just coasting 35 seconds ahead of my PB. This is why it was on purpose. So now I'm in red bar. So if you've never seen this strat, it's a very common strat nowadays, but some people haven't seen it. Should go around the left side of that building actually, and end up on the left side of the water. I just walk extra steps for no reason. Is there a reason I don't go left there? Is there a person standing to the left? I don't remember. I am not far ahead of my PB, man. This is my favorite music in the entire game. Alright, let's not... Yeah, rare candy revive strats, man. losing time to stupid bullshit. I'm surprised I haven't accidentally leveled up Squirtle before. I haven't done that for a long time. It's impressive. Yep, I've done it before, but I have not done it in a long time. Luckily, I've actually gotten quite a few deep runs. I've thrown all of them away, which has been awful, but I have gotten a lot of deep runs recently, so I do have a little bit of muscle memory built up for this late part of the game for stuff like that. But with all the late game mistakes I've made recently, it would not have surprised me if I was going to level up Squirtle by accident there. Damn it. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, it's faster to walk from here, like, by barely any amount of time. Let's stop walking extra steps here. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, the running out of room thing is actually on purpose. We actually don't want to get any of these TMs, because when you get the TM, they, like, talk about how fucking awesome their TM is for, like, extra time. But then I talked to her anyway, so I was an idiot. so used to having not far-fetched. So, the last major risk before the Elite Four is 2 fights from now. Well, I'm glad I can keep you entertained. Don't worry, there's a good chance I'll just throw the run away and die here by accident. I've been managing to do that a lot recently. There's only one spot where if I die, I'm going to try to go for it anyway. And that's if I die on Black Belt, which is the next biggest risk to kill the run. It's like Black Belt, Agatha, and Champion are like the 3 biggest risks to end the run by prematurely. Alright, we made up some time, good. Should really stop trying to cut nothing. This fight is free, but the fight after this is not the best luck. I can die on it if I don't KO the Machoke with Earthquake. Yeah, exactly. Like I died a critical Karate Chop from Machoke. I don't die to anything else. But there's 2 Machokes. There is a revive in here. It's not really a good run if I try to go off the revive, but I can go for it. We're just gonna kill him, right? We're just gonna kill him. No problem. Bam, 1 down. Do I level up here? That'd be so sick if I did. I don't remember where I level up here. I don't. Alright, let's get this one. Low kick, we're good. Woo! You would just take it. You would just take it. Alright, well that was the next scariest fight in the run. But yeah, you would run the level 3 Nidoran, you would fight, you would fight an extra encounter in Mount Moon to make up the experience, basically. But it was definitely viable. The level 4s were definitely preferred, but a high stat level 3 was faster than a low stat level 4, for example. Alright, we got through the scary fight. Need to crit here to get Surprisingly, that you would be high, you would hit all the same level markers, believe it or not. You actually would be the right level, because you still got to level 4, you still got to the level 8 after... That might have been Glod. I split, like, slightly late. I'll have to retime that later, but... You would be level 8. You still get to level 8, believe it or not. Because when you're at that low level, it doesn't take that much, so you still get to level 8 before Route 3. It's just that you were, like, one fight behind a little bit later. So this is the fucking most ridiculously easy fight in the game. You cannot die here unless you fuck up. Because this Pidgeotto, or Pidgeot, will not use anything except agility. I'm actually supposed to Ice Beam this. But we're good. And the X special I use will let me be faster than Alakazam. Because the special the badge boost given to me by the speed badge boost lets me be faster because I used an X item that was an X special, hilariously. So... faster literally because I used an X special. Hilariously, if I leveled up before this Alakazam, I would be slower, despite gaining speed. And my favorite part about this entire fight is that you use X accuracy just to Horn Drill Venusaur. Because Venusaur takes forever to die. Alright, I'm gonna concentrate from here on out, guys, so if I don't talk a lot, I apologize. But I've messed up too much in the recent past to not... I can definitely explain more after the run. I don't think I was supposed to use that. Ugh, I was not supposed to use that Repel there. That was bad. Ooh, I don't know why I used it. Alright, that was a mistake. Where am I going? God, man. The repel's got me all messed up. Don't hit this fucking trainer. One advantage of Farfetch'd is that you don't have to deposit more than one thing there. Alright, so there's a trick on Lorelei that I'm going to do. So if you've never seen this before, Lorelei will always use a super effective move. So against Nidoking, she'll either use Rest, which is Psychic, even though it doesn't do damage, or Aurora Beam on turn 1. But if you switch to this, she'll do Aurora Beam, and then her AI is programmed to rest automatically on turn 2 if she can. So she'll rest, giving you a turn to set up X accuracy here. It's better than a 50-50 shot to just randomly die. And I gotta remember to Earthquake Jinx. You deposit Pokemon because it's actually slower to not do it, because because their animations in the Hall of Fame take longer than depositing them. You have to keep the Fly Slave because of the manipulation against Lorelei. That's the only reason you don't also deposit it. I'm actually not 100% sure. Now that it's real time, I don't actually... Oh, I was supposed to X-Act there. I was supposed to X accuracy on that Onyx. Don't kill me, please. I will cry. Oh. Alright, I'm fucking failing at life here, but I'm alive. I was not... Ugh. Made a lot of mistakes there. Okay, I think I'm fine. Oh, didn't split, that's fine. It was a bad split. Alright, X speed here. Yeah, you remembered, big body. Yeah, I know. I did it on purpose because I split really late, so there was no point in doing it at all. Oh, please. God. Thank you. I was supposed to Ice Beam the gold bat. Alright, the full restore here. I was too low of an HP to use. Here I would use 2 super potions to get to high enough to get in a red bar, but... Alright. I forgot to split again, goddammit. The splits are not important. Except the last one, that one's important. But... Right, this fight is free. Unless I get critical by Gyarados. That is the only way it is not free. X Special, Thunderbolt, X Speed, lots of Ice Beams. X Special. Don't get crit. Speed. So there we abused the same mechanic we abused against Viridian Rival, where that Dragonair will always use agility there because agility is psychic, which is super effective even though it does no damage. So you can use an X item without fear of getting hurt. You have to use X Special on Gyarados because you can't kill it otherwise, which is why you need to be above 120 something HP. I didn't need that crit, luckily. But this fight is pretty easy if you don't get critical by Gyarados. Alright. PB heals coming into this fight. I don't, so. X accuracy, X speed. Lots of horn drills. 1 earthquake. I'm gonna X speed first because that, or X special first because that'll reduce a little bit of damage using the defensive badge boost. X special, X accuracy. Don't kill me, please. Got him! Earthquake. Now it's all mashing. Alright. Well, I'm definitely gonna PB. This is gonna be Glawed. No, they're not. Not even close. Those are just like my personal goal. Alright. That's a minute faster in game. Not that it really matters anymore. I may have split late. I actually don't know when the thing is